Hello and good afternoon to everyone who is watching us here right now on YouTube Live. Welcome. My name is Robbie Zialcita. I am a lead behavior consultant for Organic Intelligence Consulting, and you are here watching us live for our first ever part of a webinar series, of a four-part webinar series. Today, we will be talking about celebrating connections. And I know that's something that is important right now, seeing that most people are working from home and most people are, of course, not meeting up with their friends because of what's happening right now in the lockdown and with this whole pandemic. And I know that people are still adjusting and still trying to navigate through all this new normal that we are faced with. And we all know that maybe next year it will carry on till next year, and who knows, right? But it won't stop us from celebrating connections, especially in this time, the coming holidays. It shouldn't stop us from reconnecting, or at least connecting with friends, with office mates, with family. And we're going to give you some tips on how to do that given this whole new situation that we find ourselves in. So let's get started. Before anything else, for those of you who may not know us, we are Organic Intelligence Consulting Incorporated. And I just want to give you a short, maybe a little bit of a background of who we are. Sorry about that, some technical things there. The music played all over again. And so Organic Intelligence is really a marketing and communications think tank. we are an insights to solutions house. So we provide strategic communication solutions by harnessing local community and best in class global resources to connect organizations with their intended audiences and stakeholders. Some of the competencies that we have organic intelligence plan and design, where we do brand and people marketing planning, we do communications planning, we do design thinking, user experience, user interface, customer experience, the whole thing. And also we do data design and of course visualization. Wow, why am I saying that wrong? Visualization and branding. Okay, so yes, that does happen every now and then. So we also have organic intelligence health. And with health, we do landscape scanning, health consumer insight, capacity building, and behavior change and strategic communication within health organizations. So another competency that we have is that we have search, organic intelligence search, wherein we have qualitative and quantitative research, online, on ground, channel specific research, digital financial audit, ethnographic experiential, and new models. So anything that you need in terms of research, we can deliver. Last but not the least, and this is where I'm from, this is Organic Intelligence Learn, where we work on organizational behavior, communication development, community behavior. So it's all about making impactful changes that will not only impact your own life, but impact the lives of people around you. So we as Organic Intelligence are a part of a bigger community of partnerships, strategic partnerships. And with that, we can give you a whole line end to end, whether it's from events and experiential marketing all the way to digital marketing, all the way to multimedia content and production house, because we have partnered with the best in these competencies. And with that, we have the community. So we've partnered with Expedio, which is an events and experiential marketing company. We have Public, which is all about public relations. We have This Side Up, which is multimedia content and a production house. We have Shift, see, I'm doing it again, which is all about digital communications. I think I'm stuttering mainly because I'm so excited for today. Okay, yes, it is exciting to be live for the first time delivering this webinar, and I'm really excited about our content. To continue, yes, Shift is our digital communications arm. We also have brand channels, which is really all about community activation and on-ground communications. So with all these partnerships, we can deliver end-to-end services for all our clients, whatever it is that they need. And that's why we named ourselves a community, because we are a community of professionals that have banded together to help out our clients. So shout out to some of our clients who are there. Maynilad, yes, I know that many of you are watching us right now. Team Energy, I know, is also there. So welcome and thank you for watching us here live. So, and to all of you who have just tuned in, it's still early. We are still at the beginning. Okay, so we are going to talk about celebrating connections. And this is what we do. We have connected with other people in the community so that we can connect to our clients and give them end-to-end solutions for their thinking challenges. Yeah, great. So we are also affiliated with other organizations like ESOMAR. So we are a member of ESOMAR, which is really the European Society for Opinion and Marketing Research. We also have partnered with the Francis Kong, who is our local business guru and is also known around the region as well as our business guru. And we have partnered with him in Success Options to develop Pocket Mentor. And Pocket Mentor is the first digital mentorship platform aimed to inspire and motivate Filipinos to lead purposeful and meaningful lives. So you can check out that website of Pocket Mentor. Now, we are also a member of MORES. MORES is the Marketing and Opinion Research Society of the Philippines. So MORES is a premier professional organization of marketing and opinions polling agencies, as well as market research practitioners in the Philippines. We are also part of the Ateneo Business Resource. We have partnered with them, which is a university based learning resource center that supports enterprises through training and outreach, business incubation, consulting, and business coaching and market research. We are part of the network also of the DOST PCHRD, all right, so which is really the Health Research and Development. So it's the Philippine Council for Health Research and Development, which formulates plans, policies, strategies, and health development, and is the main source of health leadership and direction for the Philippines. So we are also partners with them, and we are part of that agency. And we are also a member the single centralized electronic portal that serves as the primary and definitive source of information on government procurement. So we are part of PhilGaps. Okay, so now you know who we are, and later you'll know where to find us. Okay, but that's for later. So we can talk about where you can find us in different social media sites at the end of today's webinar. And I'm sure all of you are all excited to be here. Thank you for tuning in. If I haven't said thank you, for those of you who have just tuned in, you are right on time. So just remember that we are Organic Intelligence Consulting Incorporated. So let's talk about celebrating connections. And, it's really timely that we're talking about this right now, precisely because the holidays are coming. December is just around the corner. Did I just say that? December is just around the corner. Yes, it's just around the corner. So can you imagine, in a few weeks or in 1 week, we are already at the last month of 2020. And I know some of you are so excited to end 2020 because it seems like we just breezed through it with nothing really happening and we are all at home. Yeah, at home. so so we are going to talk about celebrating connections so that we can have a meaningful end to this year. Let's claim it. Let's do this. So, for your company, especially, every company has a culture. We know this. And a company culture is really the personality of your organization. And it stems from factors such as work environment, management style, expectations, office design, company values and ethics, the company's mission and vision, and of course, a lot more, right? As a member of the leadership team, you can have profound impact on changing and shaping the existing culture to reflect your desires for the company. And one unexpected way to improve company culture is throwing a well orchestrated holiday office party. Remember? Yes, we had those last year. Of course, maybe this year will be a little bit different, right? But it's still part of the culture. So let's move on. Here are some 5 ways a holiday celebration promotes company culture. Now, I know you do this on a yearly basis for many of you, and you might be wondering, yeah, but we just want to have fun. But there is a positive impact to your company. That's why we have these gatherings because they're important. They're not just frivolous and happy and well, yeah, it's part of that, but they are, of course, important parts of your culture. So here's 5 ways for us to remember how a holiday celebration can promote company culture. So number one, it represents the preferred culture in a light way. So office holiday parties provide a chance for leaders to reinforce their ideal company culture in a fun and rewarding way. Next is that it unites office subcultures. Like when marketing people who are the people who are out there, or sales, they're out there, and then they mingle with people from finance and accounting and HR. Yes, those subcultures can come together in an office party, and that's why we have those office parties, so that we all get to mingle and get to know each other a little bit better. So, holiday office parties create an opportunity for employees to mingle with people from across the company, people they've probably never heard of or seen before, or maybe a new person who just came in sometime October or November, because I know not many companies hire in December. So those who just came in at the tail end of the year or the last quarter of the year, it's their time to be able to meet up with everyone else. And it also serves as a reminder that people are all employees of the same company, working towards the same strategic goals. Important, right? Next is that it provides opportunities for recognition. Yes, just like your school yearbook, like most likely to succeed. Okay, so a holiday party provides a perfect opportunity to recognize your employees for the hard work that they've done over the course of the year. And sometimes you could recognize people in a fun way too, for the funny things that they probably contribute to the company. You can do that. And we'll talk about more of that later. Now, it also gives a boost in their morale. Okay, it gives morale a boost. So, holiday parties are an opportunity to reinvigorate employees and remind them of the reasons why they chose to work for your company. Yeah? Yes, of course. People need to be reminded, especially at the end of the year, because they've been working so hard, from January to March, February, March, April, all this time trying to meet deadlines, quotas, trying to think of new ways of doing things. And so people need a reminder. People need a pick me up. There, that's what a pick me up. And that's what office parties do. And it helps boost people's morale because they're happy. Next, it allows employees also to interact with executives and upper management. Yes. Yes, your bosses are also part of the company and they are part of the party. So, yes, it gives us an opportunity to loosen up, to see that your CEO is a real person. Okay. He's not just there to deliver speeches and to direct the company and give orders or give directions. But no, he's a person who also can enjoy the company of others. And it's also management's way of taking a pulse, right, of how people are feeling. So holiday parties provide that chance for employees to meet and get to know managers and executives away from the formal confines of their offices, right? So it's not so formal and not too professional. Yeah. And so employees are more likely to trust and approve of leaders they know personally. All right. So these are some ways that the 5 ways that a holiday celebration promotes company culture. But we're talking about now, the celebrations of the now, 2020. How are we going to do that, right? How are we going to celebrate those connections, especially with all the things that we're not allowed to do, right? Christmas parties are prohibited in Metro Manila. Metro mayors say no to parties, none, okay? No mañanita. Okay. So Filipinos also brace for Christmas without parties, right? But it doesn't have to be a sad announcement. We can do something about it. Even though the curfews are eased, there's still no Christmas party. So what do we do? What can we do as an organization to have a virtual Christmas party? And here with me on this webinar to discuss the different ways that we can have these parties is my colleague, partner in Organic Intelligence Learn. She started her own career in the academe and then moved up to corporate, where she studied also organizational development. and we are together in Organic Intelligence Learn as also, she is also a lead behavior consultant. So together with me here is my friend and colleague here in Organic Intelligence, Sarah Ramos.
Thank you, Rob.
Sarah, take it away.
Thank you so much. Okay, hello everybody. Good afternoon to all of you who are joining us. It's great, right? We can still be connected with each other even at the time when we are actually physically distant. And I think the past few months we've had a lot of practice doing that. We've had a lot of practice trying to stay connected with each other, trying to be present in each other's lives, showing our concern for people, even if we are, well, I guess, hindered by the distance that is, being imposed on us. Now, it's almost December, like Rob said. And the truth is, we Filipinos are such big fans of Christmas, right? We have the longest Christmas season in the world. Okay? Pretty much by the time September comes, you'll hear Christmas carols already when you go to the mall, when you celebrate with friends, and we really thrive on that. And this year, aside from the many things that have been taken away from us, that is another thing that feels like, it's not something that we can indulge in or enjoy or experience the way we used to. But as Robbie said, it doesn't stop us from finding creative ways, new ways of still celebrating those connections with the people that we work with, or even the tips that we'll share with you here. There are things that you can share or implement when you celebrate with your families, right? So there are a lot of things that you can consider when you celebrate and organize a virtual Christmas party. Before I go through each one, please feel free to drop us a line on our chat page if you have any questions, if there's any thought that comes to mind that you would like to ask us. Do let us know on the chat and we'll set aside time at the end of this session so we can get to your questions. Okay, so how do we organize a virtual Christmas party? There are so many things to think about. It's very similar to when you mount a real Christmas party in person, right? You have to think about the venue, you have to think about the gifts, you have to think about the theme, what will we eat? Very important part of Christmas parties for Filipinos. What's the food? What's the menu, right? There's always going to be employee presentations. Sometimes you can invite a guest. You can also consider having somebody tie up with a recognition program. A lot of organizations do this as well. It's like a year-end recognition. And then there's usually a raffle. So if you look at this, okay, there's so many things that we consider. And I guess for a lot of us, we're used to doing this when we're in person because we've had a lot of practice doing that. But now that this thing has shifted and the ways of working has shifted and the ways of living has shifted, how can we translate that into a virtual universe or a virtual platform? So we'll take you through each particular element, and we hope that whatever we share, you can pick up something and also share it and implement it in your own organizations. So, first thing, let's talk about venue. Okay, gone are the days when the option is where are we gonna do it? What hotel are we gonna do it? Are we gonna do it out of town? That's pretty much not an option. So for the venue, we will be virtual, but there are still several options for you. A lot of these platforms are very familiar to us, right? We've used them in pretty much all meetings. I will venture a guess that for all of us, all these applications and platforms are installed in our work laptops. We have Zoom, we have Google Meet, we have Microsoft Teams, right? So you can hold your Christmas party in these video conferencing platforms. Now, sometimes the issue when it comes to this is that you actually have to log in to an account. So it's not very inclusive if there's somebody, like if you have staff who are currently struggling, especially we know that there was just a flood. If they don't have a device, it's hard for them to actually log in. This may be a barrier for them to join. The added bonus of doing it in platforms like this is, of course, you have more security. So you can limit the people who will attend. You can ensure that it's more safe. It's tightly secured that way, that it's really just for your organization. But should you be in a position where this is not an option and it's going to be harder for people to log into this, The other option is for us to do it via social media live stream, similar to what we're doing now, right? We're on YouTube Live. You can stream on Facebook. I think pretty much maybe 95% maybe or 90% of Filipinos have a Facebook account. So you can create a group for your organization if you don't already have one, and you can hold the Christmas party there. Okay? So, what other things can you consider? So, when you are on these platforms, whether you're on Zoom or on the video conferencing platforms or on the social media platforms, you'd want to also, you could, not that you'd want to, it's also an option for you to use a live streaming studio. The added bonus to this is a lot of this are, you can customize them. Like currently, we're using StreamYard for our own webinar, but we've also had experience using OBS. So it really depends on the purpose that you have and what fits your requirement best. I'll also share at this point that I know there's a lot of information that you can see from this together with other links in the other slides. So please feel free to take a screenshot of this so that you can store this information and it's something that you can reference back. Because normally, if we're face to face, I can tell you we'll share the deck with you. But since we're far away and I don't know everybody who's actually here, just feel free to take a screenshot. These are all available on the web and could make life easier for you. A lot of them are very easily customizable as well. Okay, so now we have the venue. Okay, what's next? What are the other things that we have to consider? Aha, gifts. Okay, how do you send gifts to somebody if you're not actually going to see them in person? There's still a chance to do it. Okay, for Filipino parties, di ba we're so used to Kris Kringle, right? And we run it for weeks at a time. And there's always a theme. Okay, so for this, you can still do that online. There are actually free online name drawing sites. Examples, and I'll read some of them. There's secretsantaorganizer.com, there's secretsanta.com. Within our own organization, we have already tried, I think, some of these in our past sessions, even when it was pre-pandemic. So there are actually a lot of resources out there. And what normally happens is you can enter your name, somebody facilitates that. Tapos it's automatic. You just get matched with somebody. Okay? And it makes it easier because you don't have to create your own mechanism for that. There's actually something already live on the web that you can utilize. So when you're done with the Kris Kringle, what else are your other options in terms of giving, right? How do you know what the person wants to get? Because I would say, even for a lot of people that I know, including myself, the things that you want now during lockdown are very different from the things that we used to want when we could still, actually go out. So it's great to create an online wish list. What will be relevant for the person that you're giving this to? What would be something useful? What would be something that they can really appreciate? So for this, you have again several options. You can have some an online spreadsheet for general lists. So that way it's a shared document that everybody can receive, right? And you can immediately check, okay, this is what I want. Now, if a budget is a concern, of course, you can tell everybody, please don't ask naman for like a car or something. Diba? Set a budget, even if whatever that may be, 100, 500, it really depends on your resources. Now, the question is, we're far away from each other. How do we give it to that person? How do we send it? A lot of the online stores, okay, you can buy for them, or you can buy from the store, and you can already, there's an option there that says, send to this person, send to another address, not to the billing address. So the thing that you buy is delivered straight to the receiver, making it so easy so that we can still send, something to a person we care about, even if we're not allowed to leave the house, right? Now, what else? You can do homemade gifts. I think at no other time are people more into like something that interests them at home, right? There are a lot of people into baking, arts and crafts. People have come up with their own businesses, even coming up with new things that they're fashioning, Okay, so you can do that as well. You can cook something and then you can deliver those through couriers. Like if you're local, I'm sure you're all aware of this. You can use Grab, Lala Move, Transportify, or if the person that you want to send the gift to is outside of your region, there are also local couriers that service that. There's ShareS, there's DHL, right? So there are other options for you to send your gifts to people. Okay, now the other option is this, and maybe something more meaningful, right? We know that in the recent weeks, I would think that we have all been bombarded and really affected by the news that so many of our countrymen are really affected by circumstances and typhoons, right? Flooding. And even before those things happen, the truth is there's so much struggle already present in the lives of the people who have lost their jobs, okay, who got sick, lost family members. So we know that this has been a particular difficult year. So I think if we're in a position where we're still healthy, we still have work, we still have resources, now is a good time to perhaps consider donating to a cause. Okay, so in lieu of gifts, what you can do is you can pull together your resources together with your office mates, together with your clients, even, and you can make those donations on their behalf. Okay, I know that there's not one way to do this. When you donate to a cause, and we'll show you options, it's more than just giving to the ones that we'll show. Okay, so the links of people that you can donate to, there's so many. Okay, there's university based, there's communications organizations, there are private organizations, there's always the Red Cross who are helping. So you can tap into those organizations. But the truth is, you can also find local communities who need our help. Okay, sometimes we think, oh, I have to look very far, but the truth is, sometimes it's just really just around the corner. You can hold a feeding program. Okay, you can sponsor that, even if you're not the ones who are actually doing the legwork. So there's so many options in terms of donating to a cause. Now, if you really want to give to people or to organizations now, and you're wondering, where can I give? I know that there are a lot of organizations who are championing fundraising projects. So you can give to these. Okay, you can give to these particular organizations. You can, and they make it so easy. You can bank transfer. You can use GCash, PayMaya, PayPal. Okay, so a lot of these are reputable. Okay, so we know that the funds will actually go to people who need them if that's a concern. So consider these options, but also, again, consider those who are within your community. Um, and I'll say that sometimes the first look will be within our own organizations, right? There may be people in our own work family who were also affected by the typhoon. Okay, so if those are the people in need, maybe that's the first help that we extend if we want to donate to a cause. Okay, so that's gift giving. Daming options. Okay, dahil kailangan i-consider. Okay, but what else? Okay, you can also consider a theme. What do you mean a theme? Okay, remember when we were still, like able to celebrate face to face? Somehow there was a time when I realized, oh, Christmas is also just another Halloween. Tapos biglang, di ba, there's like, you have to wear a costume, there has to be a theme, so you can carry that to virtual celebrations. Now, your party themes, you have to make sure that one, and most importantly, it is aligned with your company's messages, right? If the message example is simplicity, then the theme that we choose is something more toned down, I guess not as extravagant, right? We also have to be considerate of the current times, being sensitive to how other people are feeling, what other people are going through, okay? And most importantly, it's easy to execute at home. There's already a lot of things going on, right? That we don't have, or that we don't want to add another burden to people to be able to join us when we celebrate the Christmas party. So let's make it as easy as possible, okay, for people to be able to celebrate that with us. Okay, so What are some sample themes? Please don't feel limited to these. These are just things that we thought about. But you can have very timely, okay? Very timely for COVID, a masquerade theme. Used to be the masquerade theme was more ornate, Venetian, right? Yung mga mask talaga. Now it's different. It's like a real mask, right? So you can come in mask that you made yourself, or you can send people a mask that's white and then they can decorate it. It's really going to be, there's so many options when it comes to this. Another thing that you can do is you can have a theme that's game show. Okay. So I know during the pandemic, a lot of smaller groups would gather together and then they would have a game show. They would join games, whether it's trivia. I know there's Kahoot. There's a lot of platforms that do that. Personally, I've done that with my friends. We've joined game television show themed games. Okay, and we were there with so many other people. So it's another fun way to connect and maybe something to explore if it's a common interest for people. The next one also can be okay, if you want to like do let's just watch Netflix together, okay? Or you can do something that's in line with TikTok, primarily. Again, if your demographics, they're younger, okay? This would be something that would appeal to them because they're very much fans of this particular platform. And last but not the least, you can have a theme that's more laid back, something like Christmas morning with the family. Gives us another excuse just to wear pajamas, right? Or like something very comfortable. Okay, so again, just some themes for you. There are so many other options that you can explore, and I'm sure you have your own ideas as well. Okay, that's for the theme. What about a big part of Christmas parties? Food. Okay, remember when you go to Christmas parties? At least that's the way it was for us. Parang the conversation about food and what the menu will be takes up the most time. Okay, so what are the food options now that you're far away from each other? You can actually send people a grace or a snack box. Okay, something that they can enjoy. You guys can enjoy together as you like look through presentations, as you spend the time together. So it's kind of nice when you're enjoying the same thing and you can say, "Oh, look, I'm eating my like, I'm munching on my crackers," right? Or if the theme is like Filipino, pwedeng tied up yung food to the particular theme of your party. If you're having a Christmas morning, the snack box can include popcorn, candy, things that they can enjoy. Same thing if you have something like a Netflix movie. Okay, so you can prepare something like this. Or, okay, the other option is you can tap local caterers for special pack meals. For this, my experiences recently, there are so many people in our own communities, sometimes within our own organizations. And during the lockdown, a lot of people started their own businesses. So maybe we don't even have to look far, right? We can tap those local resources. So it's another way of driving the economy, lending a hand to people who can actually benefit from that. And then so it's a win-win situation, right? We enjoy something and we help another person out. Okay. So there are also the food that you serve, again, it's really dependent on the theme that you have and very dependent on the budget that you have as well. Okay. Just think about it. When you're virtual, the thing with budgets is nawala kasi yung budget for venue, right? You're not booking an expensive function room, an expensive hotel room. There's actually a lot of costs that were cut. So you can funnel that and channel that into serving something that people can actually enjoy. Okay? That's for food. What else? Employee presentations. I'm thinking the people who are new in the organization, they're probably thinking, buti na lang, we're not going to be face to face. Because in our community, the new ones, the newbies, are actually mandated, okay, to have their own presentation. That doesn't stop other people from no. Okay, we'll also join. We'll also like have our own presentation. So it's very, very integral to the way that we celebrate. And you know what? The beauty about presentations, it's not even when it's actually there in that moment. Because a lot of the time, presentations are, you meet with each other, you talk to each other, um, you do a project together. So it's another way of building those work relationships, even with people that maybe you talk to, but the conversations are pretty much centered primarily on work, right? So it's great to have like a creative outlet. You have a project that you're doing, and then it's something that you're actually excited about. Okay, next. See, group presentations are still possible. This is what we'll say though. Okay, let's make it easy again for people in our organization to present something. Um, I think at this point, our reco would be, let's not make anything mandatory, right? If it's something that we feel like no, they don't have a lot of time for it anymore, and it's just another added burden, then please, it's okay to not ask them to do this. I know though that there are so many that look forward to something like this. And for those people, this is their moment to shine, right? This is their moment to show people or to have an output that's not actually work related, very strictly, like related to productivity. The beauty of this is also that you don't have to do the presentations right there in person, like during the Christmas party. You can pre record that. You can already have that set up so that when you attend there, it's really just a matter of uploading maybe a video or whatever form or, like whatever presentation you have already done. What else? Dami. There's so many things, right? Oh, this one I really like this next thing. Celebrity performers or a guest. Ah, I know a lot of companies prior to the pandemic, they would have entertainment, right? They would have somebody there. And now you're thinking, huh, how is that still possible? But the truth is, now is the perfect time, guys, to maybe consider somebody that you think, oh, that's impossible. We won't be able to get that person because they're far away. They live in another country. So it's going to be so expensive to fly them in. We have to pay for flights, we have to pay for accommodations. The beautiful thing now is you're spared from all those expenses. You don't have to pay for transportation, for accommodation, for any other logistical requirements that your guests may need. Now, who are the people that you can invite? If you're a big organization, you can actually look at your company global executives. Who is it that you really want to see, right? It's also an opportunity for leadership to be able to reach more people, to be more connected with, if you have a lot of branches, if you have a lot of subsidiaries, this is a time when you can be present. Because imagine you can do all of that from your home. Or you can get local or shoot for the moon, go for foreign celebrities. Who knows? They could possibly say yes, right? We don't know the possibilities that are out there. So consider that, try, right? If there's something or somebody that you really, really want to invite, take this opportunity and do that. Okay? Who knows? You might just be surprised or you might be able to give your employees such a great surprise by giving them an opportunity to watch somebody na, uy, I never thought this was possible, right? Now, what else? Next, okay, a recognition program. Okay. A lot of the time, because the Christmas parties are, of course, happening at the end of the year, we also take that as a chance, right? To show na, hey, it's the best time to recognize our employees' exceptional work. Um, More than ever at this particular year, I think it's great that we can recognize employees for the work that they have done. We know, and I know a lot of people who have said, it seems like we were busier when we were working from home than when we were actually, like going to the office. Maybe because lines have been blurred in terms of boundaries. I remember seeing a meme that said, I do not know anymore if I am working from home or if I am living at work, right? So I think it's a little bit of both. Okay, so we know that people have put in tremendous, right? tremendous efforts to keep the businesses that we have going. Okay, and it's great to be able to give back to them. Now, what can we consider when we recognize people? Let's be very specific and descriptive. Okay, a lot of the time, let's emphasize the positive things that this particular employee has done and what specifically did they do, as well as how did it impact the other people in the organization. Okay? Aside from good work, yes, recognize employees for their good behavior. Okay? For people who went over and above. If there were people who, lent a helping hand to people who were, like really struggling at the beginning, especially of the lockdown, who helped people get resources, right? If there were employees who gave suggestions for new ways of working that we took on and was able to really make us more productive and happier, okay, let's recognize those. If there were employees who were able to still create fun engagement activities for us, even if we were far away from each other, let's recognize that as well. Okay. Um, let's give them practical rewards. Okay? Something that they can really use. I love this health plan. Yeah, I welcome that. Okay. A health plan, if they don't have that yet, or an add-on to that. A health plan doesn't have to be like very expensive, right? You can just do a simple add-on to what already exists. There are so many e-gift certificates that are available out there, even from your favorite merchants. We've sent some to when we do workshops and we want to recognize the efforts that people give. We've sent that out as well. You can send out care packages, something that can contribute to just bringing them wellness, okay, whatever it may be, anything that can help relax them, boost their mental health, boost their overall well-being. Okay, very practical is the next one. Consider giving them time off. Okay, add to the number of leaves that they have. Okay, let them take, like successive leaves. Okay lang, because they've certainly earned that. Okay. Or the other reward is you can give them coaching sessions. You can ask them what is a particular concern. And the coaching session doesn't have to be professional only in nature. They can be coaching sessions that can really help people out just to be able to maintain a sense of balance and a sense of, I guess, wellness and a feeling of being grounded. Anything that contributes to their overall well-being will be something that's really, really very relevant. So it's really about customizing it, right? Making the individual feel like it wasn't just a token thing. Na, hey, you did a good job. It's really telling a person, hey, you did a great job, and I'm giving you something that I know you really like and you can really use. Okay? And the most important thing when you're giving recognition, above all else, I think, is just be authentic and genuine, because people can always see that and appreciate it as well. Okay, how many? There's a lot. I'm not able to monitor the chat, but again, if you have questions, please post it there so we can get to your questions at the end of this. We did try to be as comprehensive as possible in terms of the content, but I'm sure there must be something that's in your mind. Last, the raffle. Okay, for the raffle, um, again, it's something that you can do virtually. These are some free online random pickers that you can do. There's randomresult.com, namepicker.net, luckydraw.me. So you can go to these websites and you can simply utilize what's already there. Alternatively, okay, special awards can be given in lieu of a raffle. Like if you have a theme and they come in costume, okay, you can have a virtual scavenger hunt, or you can have a point system. Like over the course of the year, if they were accumulating things or points as a team, you can also recognize that. You can give, instead of a raffle, base it if you have presentations. That's also something that you can do. Okay, so there are really so many things to consider. And if you look at everything that we've run through, from venue to gift giving to the theme of the party to the food, presentations, guest performers, okay, a recognition program or a raffle, we realize that there's so many things that we can do to still drive that connection within our organization. um, I'd like to think that work takes up so much of our time, right? And when we're at work and people actually take the time to do something for their employees that's meant to just give back, not meant to drive anything with a bottom line. Really, it's just meant to build relationships and to strengthen that. That's always a great thing, right? And more than ever, it's a perfect time to do that as well. Okay, so that's what we have prepared for you. So at this point, we'll open the floor to any of your questions and we'll do our best to answer that. To answer that one lang, to answer those, okay? To answer those questions that you may have. We have about 10 minutes in the broadcast and in our webinar to be able to answer that. And I think Robbie's back. Hi, Rob. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Hello. Yes, I'm
Okay,
back.
so yes, you're back. We'll wait lang for some of the questions. Okay, if there are people, because we have fairness, we have a little bit of time left. And Rob, while
Yeah.
we're waiting for the questions, you want to tell us what are the you want to tell us? You want to tell them what are the other things that we can do for them?
Okay. Yes. And while we're waiting for questions to come in, you can also send us, shoot us an email at learn@organicintelligence.com.ph, and we can send you a copy of this particular deck if you're interested to get a copy of everything that was discussed today by Sarah, and we'll send that to you. Just shoot us an email requesting for a copy of the deck at learn@organicintelligence.com.ph. Okay, other things that we can do for you here at Organic Intelligence Learn, these are the different ways that we can help your organization. We can help with leadership development, with talent development, with team development. We can also help build communication skills. We can help with organizational development. And of course, for those who are running a family business, we can help you grow and expand that and help the family business out. So contact us through email or go to our website at organicintelligenceconsulting.com.ph, or you can also email us at learn@organicintelligence.com.ph. So later on, I will flash all our other social media accounts where you can also reach us. Yes, we are everywhere. Okay, so on to our questions. To those who have burning questions for us regarding this topic. Oh, there. So we have one question from Samantha Sanchez. Okay, hello from Quezon City. And in terms of raffle prices, do you have recommendations on whether it's better to be for it to be better to be physical prices? So she's worried about delivery and logistics. So or should they be virtual prices like e-commerce GCs, etc.? So what do you think?
From my personal perspective, because I know, and if you're anything like me and you disinfect everything that goes into your own home, it's
Yeah.
really simpler. Okay, it's simpler if they're virtual prices. Well, one also because you eliminate the cost of delivery. It's also more efficient that way. The other thing is, for safety reasons, I personally would prefer to receive something that's going to be given to me on a virtual platform rather than something that would be given to me in person. Okay, I think it's just more practical, and we always like to err on the side of safety at this
Right.
particular time. So for me, that's the route that I would go because I understand that the worry and the concern for people is very, very real, right? So we want to minimize exposure. We don't want our Christmas party to be like a super spreader, not at all.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Yes.
that's definitely the direction that I would take. We would respect also organizations who choose to send out physical prizes. I think just to be sure, make sure that you sanitize, okay? Make sure that you disinfect even prior to sending. And maybe it can come with a reminder for the recipient, because, like from you to the person who will receive it, many, many hands will touch that. So just remind them to follow the all the necessary safety protocols so that we can ensure that this is not, it's going to be safe and well for everybody. Thank you for your question, Samantha. Thank you also for joining us.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And it's always good to stay safe, right?
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
e-gifts are the best way to go. And there's so many right now. So take advantage of those e-gifts that we can send to people. So
Right.
next question we have here is from Anonymous. Okay. Is it okay if we have small get-togethers with our teams and go online with the big party?
Hmm. Okay, if I
That's a good
understand this
question.
correctly, okay, I guess this person is asking like if you can gather together as a small team and then project that to right so that you're
Mhm.
actually having a bigger party. Um, and that's definitely possible. Again, we're very respectful of what it is that you want to do, and if you will do this, please make sure that you follow distancing and follow all the safety protocols. I will say though that because we also want to be compliant with government mandate, who said that no Christmas parties this year that are to be done in person. So perhaps it's really just better to do everything 100% virtual. Okay? It simplifies logistics, it simplifies organizing things, and that way you eliminate, because you also have to ask a question of then who gets to go and who stays virtual, right? There are so many other things to consider that my short answer will be just to be compliant with
Right.
regulations that the government has set, and again to make sure that we're staying safe and we're staying well, okay, and we're looking out. I think it's so much about looking out also for our employees, that we just make ensure that they're at the safest possible space when we celebrate with them, and the safest possible space is definitely still their own homes. There. I hope that kind of answered your question and we interpreted that right. There was no name. So, Robbie, this one came from the most famous
Yeah, and
question
it,
asker with Anonymous.
yeah. Yes, and it's always best to remember that even though they've eased up on curfew and all that, please continue to stay safe and follow the guidelines that we've been following from before. Wash your hands regularly, social distancing, wear a mask and face shield. Always limit the number of people in your office. Always take care of yourself. Here's another question from Pia
Okay,
S.
Rob, I'll ask you this
So,
question. Your turn,
okay,
because I've answered two. I've answered two, and now I'll let you answer this one. It's from Pia S. Hello, Pia. Okay. Hello. Do you have any tips for designing a fun program that won't be too affected by internet connection challenges this holiday? It's a very practical question.
wow, that's okay. That's pretty good because
Yeah.
we do know that there are issues with connectivity, and we do know that not many people may have proper connectivity in their homes. So there'll be a lot of people going online now. Maybe tips on designing things. Maybe you can design something that they can do offline first and then to be presented later on online. Like the presentations that Sarah was talking about a while ago, that could be something that you could do offline, or maybe some kind of decorate your background contest. So you can do that offline and then just make the presentation online, and one by one, like people show their video, because we know that when video is on during a chat room, in a chat room, it can take up a lot of bandwidth. So maybe you can start showing your backgrounds one by one, and then people are making the judging and all that, or doing the criteria for the judging. All of that can be done offline. And
You can
even the
actually,
even Secret
yeah,
Santa can
sorry.
be done also offline.
Yeah,
Yes,
sorry,
yes, Sarah.
Rob.
Go ahead.
Because you mentioned something about the background. I think one way so that you can prepare it is you can already execute it and then perhaps take a photo of that, send it via
Yeah.
email. Then you can have somebody in the office who's already going to collate, create a collage. So, by the time the Christmas party happens, not everybody is like pressured to turn on their camera, to turn on, to actually be like visible during the time because that really takes a lot of space. If you have a quiz night, you can already seed out the questions ahead of time. You can do that even via Google Forms, like have that. And then by the time that you get to the party, you're already showing the answers. So not because there's really a lag, and then people will feel like, oh, but I also answered the same thing, and then it's just that my
Mhm.
answer is not the first one given. So you can have those things. And the limitation is really connectivity. I understand that. And I think the easier that we can do it for people, then the better it will be. And I'm sure you also have wonderful ideas within your own organization. Okay, I just
Nice.
realized that it is now 4:59. We have
Wow, we have
one,
1 minute.
I think we have
Maybe
time
one
for
more question. One more
two
question.
questions. Okay, two
Two
daw.
questions. Okay.
Two,
Two
sabi
daw.
sa akin. Okay. Okay.
Sabi ni boss who's not here online right
Uh,
now. Okay.
our boss
Yes,
said two
question
questions.
is, please recommend other platforms we can use to have the virtual Christmas party, especially if it is a big company with over 1,000 employees. Thanks.
Okay. For okay, let's start with the free sites, right? Your
Mm.
best bet will still be social media platforms because really they can accommodate a huge
Yep.
number of people in their on their site. So it's not going to crash even if there are a lot of people joining one particular link. So example, YouTube can actually reach so many people, okay? Not even 1,000, thousands, okay? Hundreds of thousands of people can be on the same link watching it together. So you can have that. Now, if you'll opt for something that's paid, let's say you have a Zoom account. Now Zoom is offering things like you can add on, so you can add on so that you can have a lot of users on it. Okay, you can have a lot of it's really going to be adding to a current subscription that you already have. Okay, you can, if you have the resources, you can create your own microsite that can house your own Christmas party, and that's going to be exclusive to you. Okay, so it really is also very dependent on resources, okay, on the budget that you have, right? As well as, like how much are you going to utilize that? Because if you create something, can you still use it for other properties or elements of the business? Then that's also possible. Okay, but my quick reco is for a quick win, you go with the free social media sites because
Yes.
then you can host a lot of people there, which
It's
is
a
another,
wider reach.
yeah. And it doesn't matter even if they're far away. Plus, one great advantage of social media platforms is a lot of the carriers add that on as a free thing. So you're not
Yes.
actually using if
Your
you're on
data.
mobile, not using your data. So you don't eat into a person's data allocation because when you're watching from YouTube, that's considered free. So that's another advantage of being on a free platform. Thank you, Gianna. I hope we said your name right. I hope you're safe and well as well.
Yes. So is this the last question we're having? This is from Alfie. Thank you, Alfie, for your question. Can you recommend websites that offer online game or quiz programs? I think you
What do you
mentioned a while ago Kahoot is
Yeah,
one.
we use Kahoot a
Um,
lot. Okay.
right.
I know Rob,
Yes.
you also use Jackbox, right?
Jackbox.
Jackbox is
Yes.
another
If
thing.
we can, there are several packages that come with Jackbox. Jackbox .tv, I think, is the website, so you can go there, check it out. They do have, they I think they have both. They have some free games and they have paid packages, but not very expensive packages for online games that are really really fun. I've done it with my family here. We do that every now and then to just have some extra
Yeah.
fun because we're all together we've been together for 8 months. This is the longest that we've been together in one area, right? But we still try to have fun, every week, watching old movies or whatever. So you can do that for your company. You can
Okay.
also have these game nights, and especially for the holiday celebration, just have those online websites ready.
Yeah, somebody recommended to us on our live chat to check out quizzes. Okay, so for
Quizzes.
the quizzes, right? So check
Yeah.
that out also. I'll also recommend that if you have like if it's something that you can do offline, there's so many depending on the interest. And again, there's so many themes that you can go with television shows, random trivia.
Mhm.
You can go to BuzzFeed. Okay, or you can just simply search
Right.
offline quizzes. Like example, I love Friends. Okay, so we join Friends trivia night questions, quiz night. Yes, Robin knows this about us. So we practice using those quizzes that are online. So you can also utilize that because you can customize your own questions and your own quiz depending on what the particular interest is. Yeah, so something to consider.
Right.
Yes. Do we have?
Okay.
I
Oh,
believe this
one
is
more.
our
One more.
absolute last. Yes.
Okay.
Jazel May Ingeniero. Okay, has a
Mhm.
question for us. What platform or activities would you recommend that would maximize virtual engagement and interactions of the attendees? Ooh, what platform or
That would
activity,
maximize. Oh,
virtual
um,
engagement and
right.
interactions? Sige.
Well, I think some of the platforms that were already mentioned allow that. For example, Zoom is very powerful in terms of you can have breakout rooms. So
Yes.
if you are a big group and you need to break out into smaller rooms, they can it has that function. Microsoft Teams, you can create those rooms within Microsoft Teams as well. So these are platforms wherein you can put in activities or have one big activity for them to be able to prepare for, and then they break out into these rooms, and virtually they can prepare, don't even have to be in one area. And you can pre-assign also the people who will be in those rooms, and it's exciting. So when everybody comes back into the plenary, then you can see what the presentations are. People can now give their own presentations as a group.
Yeah. You can
Yes,
also
Sarah.
do simple games. And Robbie knows this. In some of our previous workshops that we've run, we've done things like virtual prices right, virtual
Mhm.
Pictionary, virtual name that tune. So it excites people, and what they do is you simply type on the chat page, okay, your answer, and everybody becomes engaged, and it becomes a source of laughter for a lot of us. So sometimes, example, if it's a song, it's very specific to an era. So people will say, "I know we don't know that, right?" Or maybe Peter Robbie will be able to guess that, right? Or really, it maximizes interest as well. Okay, so there's also thank you Samantha for also cluing us in that you can also check out Jeopardy Labs for Jeopardy style games
Mhm.
if that is
Mhm.
something that you like to do. So if you're ang competitive, Jeopardy talaga, okay? Mas serious. So that's something that you can also do with your teams. Thank you, Samantha, for sharing that with us. And Jason, I hope we were able to give you some options. We'd be happy to have longer conversations with you guys. So if there's anything that we can help you out with, please do get in touch with us. Let us know because there's so many things I think we want to push in terms of partnerships. How fast the hour goes. Okay, before we
Yes, we're
started, we
actually
were thinking,
over.
like I wonder, will we have enough? But we really have so much, right? And it's
Yeah.
still wonderful way of being connected with each other, right,
Yes.
Rob?
Yep. And you know what? What this just tells us is that the limit is just your thinking. So there's no limit to how we can make connections more meaningful, more exciting, and more joyful. These coming holidays, and that's the opportunity that we see here in terms of this lockdown. Let's not allow the lockdown or the this pandemic to dampen our Filipino tradition of celebrating Christmas. Even if we are not celebrating together, we can still make it meaningful and fun. And please, for those of you who have tuned in, this is only our first. We have three other webinars that we'd like to invite you for in the coming weeks. Next week, we will have another webinar. So please wait for the announcement as to when and what time. Well, chances are it will be at 4 p.m., same time as today. But please check out all our social media sites. As I mentioned, you can actually find us on our website, which is organicintelligence.com.ph. We also have a Facebook page, and we also have an Instagram page. So follow us on these pages and watch for our announcement on the coming webinar. Sarah, do we have a title already for the webinar next week? What would that be?
Next week we have it will just be Robbie and I talking next week, because then you'll be tired of us. Next week we actually have very special guests. We'll have Doug and Cheska Kramer of Team Kramer joining us. Yes, so very exciting. Just to give us an idea in terms of celebrating with families and how can you manage the shift when you still want to feel connected, whether it's for family or friends, and what new traditions can you start with your own family. So we hope you'll tune in to us. We have Team Kramer next week.
Wow.
Excited.
So guys, please, you don't want to miss this because yes, we will have Team Kramer right here on our webinar. So stay tuned. Don't go away. We will be back next week at 4 p.m. for that webinar with Team Kramer. In the meantime, thank you for staying with us. Thank you for watching this live session with us, and we hope to see you all next week. Bye.